Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Computer Science Classes by Nikhil Srivastava. And in this video we will study about method overriding. So we have already studied about method overloading. So what was overloading? So for overloading to happen, we in the same class, if you have two functions with the same name but different argument list, then that is method overloading. But overriding is something different. So for overriding to happen, you need two classes, and there should be inheritance between the two classes. One is a base class and one is a derived class. So overriding exactly means that you declare one function in the base class and the same prototype function you define in the derived class. So that method is overridden. So let us go to this presentation and try to see what is method overriding. Inheritance should be there. Function overriding cannot be done within a class. For this we require a derived class and a base class. So I already said that if you want function overriding to happen, then you need two classes. One is the derived class and one is the base class. Function that is redefined must have exactly the same declaration in both base and the derived class. That means same name, return type and the same parameter list. Let us try to understand this. I will just go to the ID and suppose I have a class, and suppose the name of the class is animal. Okay, so this is my class, and in the animal class I will write the public accessibility modifier, and then suppose there is one method, the sleep method, and inside the sleep method I say the animal is sleeping. Okay, I say something like this and I give the underline marker. Okay, so this is my animal class. Alright, this is my animal class, and now I create one more class, suppose a dog class. Okay, suppose this is the dog class, and dog class is publicly inheriting from the animal class. Alright, and again in this dog class I have this public accessibility modifier, and inside this again I write the sleep method, and this sleep method, what do I write in the sleep method? I write something like this: cout the dog is sleeping. Okay, and then I write a new line. Now here you see that there are two classes, the animal class and the dog class, and the dog class is publicly inheriting from the animal class. Now if you go to the animal class, then I have declared one method. What is the method? The sleep method is there. So sleep method, you see what is the return type? It is void. What is the name of the method? Sleep, and then it is taking no arguments. And then you have observed the sleep method in the dog class, then this is also having the same name, and it has having this this is also taking no arguments. So that means that is the exact prototype declaration that was there in the main class. So we have overridden the this is the overridden definition of the sleep method in the dog class. So for overridden methods, you can have your own definition in the derived class. For example, in the base class I am writing the animal is sleeping, and now in the derived class what I am writing, the dog is sleeping. Okay, so you can have your own definition in the overridden method. Alright, but the prototype function prototype has to always to be same, and the function prototype means that the same name and the same type and argument list. So that has to be same. Now what I do, I create suppose an object of the dog class. Suppose an object of dog class. Suppose I say d1 is the object of dog class, and I say d1 dot sleep. Alright, now please tell me that this dog class is publicly inheriting from animal class, and because it is publicly inheriting from animal class, all the public members of the animal class will become public members of dog class. So effectively, if you observe, dog class will have two sleep methods, one that is specific to the dog and one that belongs to the animal class. So what will be the output? The output will be something like this: clean and build. And let us observe what is the output, and then I'll go and run this application. Suppose when I run this application, you see what is the output? The dog is sleeping. See, the dog specific version is called. Why this is happening? This is happening because of the third rule. Call to overridden method depends upon the type of object. So here you see in the dog class there were two overridden methods. One was belonging sleep method that belonged to the animal class, and one sleep method that is specific to which class? That is specific to the dog class. So I said that the call to overridden methods depend upon the type of object. So what is the type of object over here? The type of object is dog. So that is why the sleep method that is specific to dog, that will be called. Okay, here again I'll repeat, the object type is call to overridden method depends upon the type of object, and here the type of object is of type dog. So that is why the sleep method that is specific to the dog class will be called. And that is, that is what we want, because when a dog is sleeping, then we want the specific behavior of that dog. I want the dog, the specific behavior pertaining to the dog. I want that behavior to happen. And what is the specific behavior for sleeping of a dog? The dog is sleeping. This is more of a kind of, when in animal class, when I write this, define this, the sleep method, then the animal is sleeping is more like a kind of generalized method, generalized behavior. But here in the dog class, it is, it is more of a kind of specialized behavior. For example, I can write something like this. Suppose I create another class, and this one is, say, suppose the cat class, and inside the cat class, suppose I write something like this. The cat is sleeping, and then what I do, I create an object of which class? I create an object of now cat class. If I create an object of cat class, then again this rule will hold true. The call to overridden method depends upon the type of object. So here, what is the type of object? It belongs to class cat. That is why when I run it, let us see what will be the output. Suppose I clean and build this application. And now then once I go and run this application, so see what is the output. The cat is sleeping. Okay. So you always remember this third rule, what I've said, call to overridden method depends upon the type of object. And what is overriding? When methods declared in the base and the derived class have the same prototype, means the same name and the same type and number of argument list. Now I will do one thing. Suppose there is one function 1, and inside function 1, suppose it says something like this: cout in function 1 of animal class, and then I will give a new line marker. Now here in the dog class, again I will write the function 1, but here I will give one argument, suppose integer argument a, and then I will write in function 1 of dog class. Okay, so now here if you observe, what was method overloading? What was method overloading? Method overloading was that, my dear friends, that if two functions in a class have the same name but they have different number and type of arguments. So here two function, dog class is publicly inheriting from which class? It is publicly inheriting from an animal class. That is why it will have one function 1 from the animal class, and then it is having one more function, that is function 1, that is specific to the dog class. And in this function 1, I am taking one integer argument. Now let me do one thing. I don't need this cat class now. This was just for for some kind of demo behavior. Let me again create an object of the dog class. So I create an object of dog class. Now I do one thing. d1 dot function 1, and suppose I pass the argument 5. I pass this argument. Then what will be the output? Let us see what is the output. Suppose I go and clean and build this application. And now if I again run this application, see, when I called d1 dot sleep, then the dog is sleeping, and when I call d1 dot function 1 and passed an integer argument, then the function 1 of dog class was called. Now what I do, something very specific, something different and something special. So I write something like this: d1 dot function 1. See, function 1 also belongs to d1 class. Why it does belongs? It belongs because dog class is publicly inheriting from animal class, and animal class is having one function 1. So dog class is inheriting function 1 from animal class. Now if I do something like this, something. Now if I try to run this application, I clean and build this application. Oh, now it will not compile, my dear friends. It will not compile, See, no matching function for call doc function 1. So this is not, this is not an example of method overloading. See, method overloading will only take place within the same class. Okay, but this is a classical example of method, method hiding. I will write these terminologies. I will open a notepad and then method overriding, then method overloading, and then there is method hiding. Okay, method hiding. So this is the example of method hiding. Why? Because this function, because in the doc class this function 1 with no argument is hidden. Okay, it's hidden from the dog object. Why? Because once you are calling this function 1 with no argument, it is going to the doc class and it is it is encountering this function 1 which takes an integer argument, and it is not able to find this function 1. So this is an example of method hiding. Okay, this is not an example of method overloading. Why? For method overloading, you need to overload the functions in the same class. It is not that you can overload two functions, one in the base class and the other function in the derived class. This is not possible. So that is an example of method hiding. Okay, so it is like this. And again, if we return to method overriding, then so method overriding, when I call the sleep method of the dog class, then the the behavior specific to dog is called, and that is what I want. All right. So thank you so much for watching my videos. Please do keep on watching and subscribing to my channel.